Ram, Ram Ram, Hari Hari. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udiraye Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Nushtiki Gurve Gaur Chandraya Radhikaya Tadalaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadbhaktaya Namo Namaha. Hare Krishna. So, thank you so much, dear worshipable devotees, for joining for reading Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. We are reading Canto 8. And yesterday we read chapter 19, so we did complete that. Bali Maharaj, Vaman Dev is begging charity from Bali Maharaj. And we discussed, we stopped at the point there where Shri Shukracharya, the guru of Bali Maharaj, is giving multiple reasons to not give charity, which were very sound and logical from the mundane Shastra, from mundane perspective, from selfish agenda perspective. But let's see if Bali followed his guru or did he disregard the so-called injunctions of his guru, which were not aligned with the true Bhakti Shastra. The Bhakti Shastras are the topmost. So let's see if Bali Maharaj, did he hear his guru or did he hear his grandfather? So chapter 20, we can start with the summary. Bali Maharaj surrenders the universe. So, Babu Prabhu, want to read? Or Prabir Prabhu, want to read? You are ready to?
Shall I read?
Yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah. Bali Maharaj surrenders the universe. The summary of this 12th chapter is as follows. Despite his knowledge that Lord Vamanadeva was cheating him, Bali Maharaj gave everything to Lord in charity, and thus the Lord extended his body and assumed a gigantic form of Lord Vishnu. After hearing the instructive advice of Shukracharya, Bali Maharaj became contemplative because it is the duty of householder to maintain the principle of religion, economic development, and sense gratification. Bali Maharaj thought it improper to withdraw his promise to Brahmachari. To lie or fall to honor a promise given to Brahmachari is never proper, for lying is most sinful activity. Everyone should be afraid of sinful reactions to lying, for Mother Earth cannot even bear the weight of sinful liar. The spreading of kingdom or empire is temporary. If there is no benefit for the general public, such expansion has no value. Previously, all the great kings and emperor expanded the kingdom with regard for welfare of the people in general. Indeed, while engaged in such activities for the benefit of general public, eminent men sometimes even sacrifice their lives. It is said that one who is glorious in his activities is always living and never dies. Therefore, fame should be aim of life, and even if one becomes poverty stricken for the sake of good reputation, that is not a loss. Bali Maharaj thought that even if this Brahmachari Vamanadeva were Lord Vishnu, if the Lord accepted his charity and then again arrested him, Bali Maharaj would not envy him. Considering all these points, Bali Maharaja finally gave in charity everything he possessed. Hare Krishna.
And there's little more for you.
Yeah. Lord Vamanadeva then immediately extended himself into universal body. By the mercy of Lord Vamanadeva, Bali Maharaj could see that the Lord is all-pervading and that everything rests in his body. Bali Maharaja could see Lord Vamanadeva as Supreme Vishnu, wearing a helmet, yellow garments, the mark of Srivasta, the Kaustubha jewel, a flower garland, and ornaments decorating his entire body. The Lord gradually covered the entire surface of world, and by extending his body, he covered the entire sky. With his hands, he covered all directions, and with his second footstep, he covered the entire upper planetary system. Therefore, there was no vacant place where he could take his third footstep. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. So, very nice summary. And this beautiful chapter about Bali Maharaj surrender. So, of course, we'll be discussing in great detail as we dive deeper. So, let's get started. The first verse. Yes, Prabhu, you want to read?
Text 1. Sri Shuka Uvacha Balir evam grihapati kula acharjena vashita tushnim bhutta shanam rajan uvacha bahita guru. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Jai Srila Prabhupada. Translation. Sri Shukdev Goswami said, O King Parikshit, when Bali Maharaj was thus advised by his spiritual master Shukracharya, his family priest, he remained silent for some time, and then after full deliberation, he replied to his spiritual master as follows. Purport. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur remarks that Bali Maharaj remained silent at a critical point. How could he disobey the instruction of Shukracharya, his spiritual master? It is the duty of such a sober personality as Bali Maharaj to abide by the orders of his spiritual master immediately, as his spiritual master had advised. But Bali Maharaj also considered that Shukracharya was no longer to be accepted as a spiritual master, for he had deviated from the duty of his spiritual master. According to Shastra, the duty of the Guru is to take the disciple back home, back to Godhead. If he is unable to do so, and instead hinders the disciple in going back to Godhead, he should not be a Guru. Gurur Nasya Shyat. Bhagavatam, Canto 5, Chapter 5, Text 18. One should not become a Guru if he cannot enable his disciple to advance in Krishna consciousness. The goal of life is to become a devotee of Lord Krishna, so that one may be freed from the bondage of material existence. Takta deham punarjanma no iti mam iti sahodjana. The spiritual master helps the disciple attain this stage by developing Krishna consciousness. Now Shukracharya has advised Bali Maharaj to deny the promise to Vamandev. Under these circumstances, therefore, Bali Maharaj thought that there would be no fault if he disobeyed the order of his spiritual master. He deliberated on this point. Should he refuse to accept the advice of his spiritual master, or should he independently do everything to please the Supreme Personality of Godhead? He took some time. Therefore, it is said, Tushnim Bhutta Shanam Rajan Ubacha Bahito Gurum. After deliberating on this point, he decided that Lord Vishnu should be pleased in all circumstances, even at the risk of ignoring the Guru's advice to the contrary. Anyone who is supposed to be a Guru, but who goes against the principle of Vishnu Bhakti, cannot be accepted as Guru. If one has falsely accepted such a Guru, one should reject him. Such a Guru is described as follows. Mahabharata, Udyoga Parva 179.25. Gururapi avaliptasya kajya kajyam agganata uttapta pratipannasya parityaga vidhiyate. Srila Jiva Goswami has advised that such a useless Guru, a family priest acting as a Guru, should be given up, and that the proper bona fide Guru should be accepted. Shatkarma nipuna vipra mantra tantra visharada Vaishnava Guru Nashyad Vaishnava Shapacha Guru. A scholarly Brahmana, expert in all subjects of Vedic knowledge, is unfit to become a spiritual master without being a Vaishnava. But if a person born in a family of lower caste is a Vaishnava, he can become a spiritual master. Padma Purana. Hare Krishna is such an important verse. Here Srila Prabhupada is explaining. We can learn so many things from here, like just from this incident, we can see how Bali Maharaj was composed. One good thing is because of his association, we can see that because he associated with his grandfather, he gave the highest preference to the Vishnu Bhakti. And he composed himself. He took time to take the decision. And he, where there is Vishnu Bhakti is priority, or it was given the highest goal, he took that side. And Srila Prabhupada is mentioning here that Kiba Vipra Kiba Nashi Kene Shudra Hoy Jai Tat Kṛṣṇa Tattvatta Shei Guru Hoy. So Prabhupada is saying that even quoting the last verse from Padma Purana, even a Brahmana is highly educated in all subjects of Vedic knowledge, but he is unfit if he is not showing us the Vishnu Bhakti. On the other way, contrary to that, if someone is from a lower caste but is a Vaishnava, he can be a spiritual master. And I was just thinking, I mean, here we see that Bali Maharaj took that decision that he gave the priority that Vishnu Bhakti, and he rejected at that point. Prior to that, he was accepting Shukracharya as his guru. We also saw that recently when Srila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj's appearance day, His Grace Bangshi Vilas Prabhu is giving the class, and he was saying about Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur's actually Gurudev was Bipin Bihari. But there was some kind of confliction between him and Bhaktivinoda Thakur, according to, because he was saying that a guru should be by birth, and Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur actually didn't actually promote him as his guru in this sampradaya. He took, on the other, he took as Srila Jagannath Das Babaji as who was his Shiksha Guru actually. So he took them. So we see that here Srila Prabhupada mentions so nicely. Prabhu Hare Krishna, please back. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. As you said, there are lots and lots of important lessons in this and very, very practical verse. A lot of important things to learn. And this verse is often kind of shared in the ISKCON disciple course as well, for those who may have taken to Guru-tyag, basically. Bali Maharaj is doing Guru-tyag after properly, carefully deliberation, because he understood that this Guru is not the right Guru. A lot of people may be attached on an emotional level to a so-called Guru. Oh, he's my family Guru, right? Oh, he's my this Guru, that Guru. So if that Guru is not, what is the definition of Guru? We'll read this verse. Guru na syat swajano na syat, pita na syat, janani na syat, devam na tat syat, na patishcha syat, na mocha yedya samupeta mrityu. One who cannot deliver. Don't become a guru. Don't become a swajana, relative, pita, janani, mata, devam, the devata, pati, husband. These 6 positions one should not accept if one cannot take the responsibility of the dependence. Na mochayetya samupreta mrityum. In short, my dependents, my followers, my shishya should not take birth in this world. My wife should not take birth in this world again. My children should not take birth in this world again. My relatives should not take birth in this world again. These are the responsibility of these roles: father, mother, leader, husband, etc. Guru. This is real Guru, not by Shukracharya, not by seminal Guru, not because. And just look at the situation. It's such a difficult situation for him. But Bali Maharaj is showing such an exemplary behavior. So he's pausing here. That pause is important. He heard, he gave attention to, he heard his Guru, right? After full deliberation, very, very important there. He paused, he remained silent, and he paused. And then Krishna gives the right intelligence from within. If we are situated in that consciousness, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Dadami buddhi yogamtam. Those who worship him, Krishna gives that this person is not taking me to the right path, or this person is telling me something which is not Krishna conscious. And it is very, very important for us. For example, I may have told someone to start practicing bhakti. Okay, this question is asked in the initiation ceremonies or before that in interviews also. The senior temple president will ask, so because he may have told some devotees to start chanting, start reading Bhagavad Gita, and then he'll say, what if tomorrow I give up and I just stop practicing bhakti and I stop start living a very materialistic life, watching movies and hanging out and just going to bars and clubs and casinos and whatnot. What will you do? Right? So it's a very important question. And especially Ekant Prabhu. Let me ask Ekant Prabhu or Babu Prabhu. Because what will you do? Tell me. I may have told you to chant or come to Bhagavatam class. And if you find hanging me out in materialistic things, and then what will be your process? What will be your course of action?
Prabhu, I think Guru means, my understanding is who preach at the same time he follows it. And definitely if Guru is not doing that, something like Krishna consciousness activity, I think definitely we should not follow that particular Guru.
Correct. At that time, emotions should, because even in India nowadays, some gurus, so-called gurus, the government may legally say that, oh, they have done wrong activity, they may be in jail, but the people will still keep following them. People will still say,
blind fight. There is a difference
yes,
between blind fight and actual Guru.
blind following is discouraged here. One should deliberate, one should understand tattva. Ye Krishna tattva veti se guru hoy. So one has to know the qualities of the right guru. Like, if we don't know the qualities of good gold, then anyone will say this is gold, like a polished yellow plastic, and then we'll get cheated. So therefore it's important to know. And again, Krishna will arrange also. So we should reject the so-called bogus guru, so-called blind following, so-called just seminal guru or family guru. One should carefully deliberate through Guru, Sadhu and Shastra. And then Krishna will help. So fortunately, in International Society of Krishna Consciousness, there are now our society is very stable, and there is practically no such instances of a guru kind of not following the right things. But at the same time, it's we are in a very, very safe and sheltered Prabhupada's movement. At the same time, it's important to know because what goes out in the outside world. And Maya is very strong. Even in our society, we may see sometimes the devotees, they may be in leadership position or leading some small groups, etc. And then gone. I mean, recently I heard another situation in my hometown. It's gone now. Very, it's a sad situation. But so what happens? The blind followers who are attracted more on the emotional level, they just stop coming. Their bhakti also gets disturbed. When the so-called leader goes, the blind or the people on the emotional level, they stop coming. They don't. Either they get disturbed or whatever reason. Krishna just shakes their faith or but those who are mature and who have the right understanding through Prabhupada's books, through mature bhakti, they will not be shaken. They'll say, okay, it's sad, we will continue to pray for that person, but that doesn't mean that we will follow that person. Okay, that person still helped. We are grateful. We are grateful for that person because he or she brought us to Krishna conscious. But that doesn't mean that if that person is now doing wrong things, I still have to do the wrong things. No, that's blind following. The gratitude is still there in the heart. The prayerful mood will still there in the heart. I'll try my best so that now as a duty, so I'll give him or her prasad. So because that person helped me in it to bring a fallen soul like me to connect to Prabhupada's movement. So I'll do my best without seeing the current situation, but I'll not follow his current habits. That's mature bhakti. That's what Bali Maharaj is teaching us here. Because look at the gratitude. Look at the what Shukracharya had done. He had basically revived Bali Maharaj from death, right? In the war, Bali was practically dead with the thunderbolts of Indra. Right? So he didn't let those emotions make the wrong call. Very, very important. Any other thoughts anyone has in this connection? Or any question in this
So,
topic?
Prabhuji, sometimes it may not be doing the wrong thing, but sometimes ideological difference or interpreting the things in different way, like the Ritviks ISKCON. So they're also like those Swamis. They're also like they're following totally Prabhupada, Krishna consciousness, doing everything. They are sannyasi, brahmachari, and serious devotee. But I do know some difference. How do you explain those things?
It's a very big topic. And I'm not even sure that if it's the right forum to discuss that. But just to share some of the our whole, we have to maintain a respectable distance from such devotees. That's the teachings of the GBC. We don't have to criticize, we don't have to find faults. At the same time, we don't have to uh, get close in the sense, start kind of following or start hearing. That's not encouraged. Because we already have so many wonderful souls and Prabhupads and Prabhupada disciples and grand disciples, etc. And we already have limited time. So there is one cannot say that I don't know what to hear, therefore I kind of hear them. One cannot say that because there are tons of wonderful Vaishnavas. So the point comes that first we have to kind of understand what is philosophically incorrect in the system over there. That's the philosophical kind of, and we're not criticizing any person. We are trying to understand the philosophy here. The philosophy of all the paramparas, whether it's the Brahma Mother, Gaudiya Sampradaya, or Bharaka Sampradaya, or Sri Vishnu Sampradaya, Sri Vaishnavas, living Guru, the Diksha Guru is a living personality, period. And Prabhupada also said that, and there are so many things. So now one may say, well, this is there, this is there, this is there. Then we have to see where I need to put my faith. So another major philosophical deviation. Prabhupada is great, but all his disciples are not great. Will Prabhupada like to hear that? About the great devotees who are giving their life and soul in the service of the Lord. Will Prabhupada like to hear that? Will Prabhupada be happy? For those who are genuinely tapkyante lokatapena, they are giving they have, some have given their lives, some have given their legs, some have given their youth, some have given their entire wealth, some have given their entire careers, everything, tan, man, dhan, in the service of the Lord. And to them we say they are not true followers of Prabhupada, that they have done something wrong to Prabhupada, and then they have changed this and that. This is totally unacceptable. For decades and decades, they have been truly serving. Prabhupada said so many, he is the eternal associate of Lord Chaitanya, and to so many devotees, His Holiness Jayapataka Maharaj in particular in this case, not accepting those devotees as true followers of Prabhupada, that we cannot take. So these are some of the major fundamental differences, and therefore we have to properly be guided and in the right Guru Parampara. So we are not saying that Prabhupada is not our Guru. Prabhupada is the founder Acharya, will be the founder Acharya, will continue to be for the entire society for Krishna consciousness, the preeminent Shiksha Guru. And that's another main topic in the ISKCON disciple course, the position of Srila Prabhupada. But at the same time, it's not that I can say, oh, Prabhupada is my Diksha Guru, and all the other disciples I just kind of bypass and say, I have a direct connection with Prabhupada. So that is not, there is a philosophical deviation in Vaishnavism if someone is following that. And I'm not saying all this, I'm a very tiny, insignificant person. I'm just repeating the words of our Prabhupada disciples. There are books on this topic if someone wants to understand more deeply. It is an important topic to know and discovered in the ISKCON disciple course as well. We are not criticizing anyone. We are just discussing philosophical deviations, which are important to know. We are not have any malice against anyone or any criticism against anyone, but we have to maintain a respectable distance. That's also very important. Otherwise, familiarity and then we will, because you need to understand, we are all not very Paramahamsas, at least I'm talking about myself. So association has a big impact. So therefore, we need to be mindful of the association we keep. So otherwise, we may get deviated.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Anyone
Definitely.
wants to add? Prabhu, you want to add to this? Any thoughts you have, or are those?
Krishna Prabhu, it's very one of the most important thing is I personally that we should not criticize the people the Ritik people. One of the biggest problem this is they start criticizing, as you mentioned very rightly. The devotees after Srila Prabhupada, who is giving their lives, sacrificing everything for the spreading of the Krishna consciousness, as well as for uplifting the people. I mean, most of us here, all of us, we learned from them. We didn't learn from Srila Prabhupada. Definitely Srila Prabhupada's teaching, Srila Prabhupada, everything is there, but they brought it to us. So definitely if someone is criticizing them, I personally believe that we should just stay away from them. Stay away from them. As you mentioned, all the Vaishnava Sampradaya, they have the parampara, and that it's not like Ramanuja Sampradaya, Ramanuja Acharya, he left and he is the only guru. So we learn from Mahajans. So we ISKCON is not doing anything. They are not doing anything exceptional or anything. They are following all the Vaishnava Sampradayas. So I don't see any problem there. But as you mentioned, we have to be really careful. We have to avoid those devotees so that we don't do the nama parad. That's my understanding. Thank
you, Prabhuji. Does that answer, Prabhu?
Yeah, definitely. Thanks a lot for clearing.
Okay, I guess it is time. So tomorrow is Saturday. We'll continue to read. I've been quite kind of tied up in things and not been able to arrange the weekend classes, but I promise from next weekend, not tomorrow weekend, we will do something. And you may have seen just a quick announcement here. His Grace Mahatma Prabhu is doing a Japa seminar. I did post it out. So it's on the 2 Sundays, not the tomorrow Sunday or not the day after Sunday, the 18th and the 25th, I believe. So 2 Sundays. It'll be US time about 7:30ish to 10. So it's a good kind of japa seminar, about 2.5 hours each day. And there's a small kind of registration, about $7 or so. So that will go for the services and all the great things he does. So I would encourage everyone to please join those seminars both the days. It will be certainly helpful for all of us. And those days then we won't have the Bhagavatam call at 9. Basically we'll have the seminar. We all will be joining that. So we will not be meeting here. We'll be meeting, for those who want to enroll, we'll be meeting there. So I encourage everyone to please register and get the benefit of it. Okay, I'll post the links again. Hare Krishna. Grantaraj Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki jai. Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita ki jai. Prabhupada ki jai. Samaveta Gaura Bhaktavinda ki jai. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyo cha patitana pavanebhyo vaishnavibhyo. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.